situate. Make sure I got everything right. What's up, family? How y'all doing out there? We gonna get straight to it. What's up, infinite love, peace, God? Not much, man. Just want to talk about this real quick and see what the family think. You know how I do. But if you've seen the title, then I'm pretty sure you got something to say. Put it in the chat or jump on. Hit the link, jump in. I'm gonna give us the family a second. See, I done got my notes and everything, man. Quit playing with me. But yeah, we gonna have something to say about this one. What up, Frank Nasty? What up, Ryder Creator? Peace, peace. It's a beautiful day, man. It was just raining hard as shit maybe 2 minutes ago. Now it look like it never rained. I'm like, damn, I can't come outside. It's gonna be too noisy and shit. Got everything together. It'll stop raining, man. But yeah. So you seen the title. I'm gonna give my quick little. I took a couple little notes, main points that I wanted to hit on, and then yeah, I'm gonna see what the family say. So this occurred in South Los Angeles. A community group. It's you could say minorities, and I use that term real loosely, but a community group, the community, right? A mixed crowd. Lost ownership of the Baldwin Hills Crenshaw Plaza, aka Crenshaw Mall, even though their 115 million bid, which was the highest bid, was rejected. All right, so we just gonna go point for point. This is a community mall, been founded in in the black community, using these terms loosely for a while. These are this specific Crenshaw Mall is a historical landmark, being one of the first malls established in the U.S. Right, so it's a community thing. The community came together, practiced great group economics, had the highest bid, and still was denied ownership of this plaza, this mall. I'll be watching every car. But the mall was given instead. I hope y'all can hear me. Can y'all hear everything straight, right? Uh, the mall was given to an LA-based development, Heritage Development Group, and this is predominantly white folks, right? Despite Downtown Crenshaw Rising, this is the community group, or DCR, which is quote unquote the minority groups, even though they raised the highest bid. So this community came together, did what they were supposed to, moved how they were supposed to, and still was denied uh, ownership of this mall. This. Okay, we good. This city mall, this community mall. So the DCR, which is the minority group, if you will, alleged. This is what they allege, right? That the DSW, who are the owners of the plaza, consistently rejected them in favor of non-black and non-local developers. So the community group had been trying to purchase this Crenshaw Plaza Mall for some time. Hey, it's a little squirrel up here. right in front of me. But they've been trying to get this mall, Crenshaw Mall, and keep it in the community under, local owner. Oh shit! The fuck? Under local. What is you doing? No, hold up. Look, I got a squirrel trying to attack me. No, fuck all that. No, no, no. Motherfucker try to get up on me, man. But anyway, they've been trying to get this mall, and they've been consistently rejected. But instead, the owners opted to go with a white group, a white company, a white corporation instead. The founders, one of the leaders of the it ain't that shit ain't funny. One of the, let me get to these points, man. he walked right up on me. He walked right up on me. I was gonna hit him with the chair. I don't know if y'all can see that, but anyway. One of the founders of the DCR says it's really about gentrification, and that's what I want to get to. We're gonna get to that. It's really about gentrification, says Damian Goodman, who is one of the leaders of the DCR. So, I just hit the main points because when I read it, that's the first thing I thought, right, was gentrification. Now, this is a community, and I use terms loosely, but it's a minority group community. The neighborhood came together, right, and moved how they were supposed to move, raised the funds, the backing, just like they were supposed to do, and having the highest bid, it still went to white folks. Now, the reason this is important to me is because oftentimes, and we're right when we say these things, but oftentimes we say, you got to practice group economics and you got to buy your neighborhood back. You got to buy them local stores, right? And that's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. But it was important that this type of thing was broadcast and put out there, because when we do what we're supposed to do, how we're supposed to do it, we are still able to be denied from the smallest things, There's a book called Color of Law. Color of Law. Is it Color of Law? I believe it's called Color of Law. I show the book a lot. And that book's about pretty much gentrification, redlining, and how it was implemented. We had the highest bid. The plaza is in our community. It's a part of our community. It's built in our community. We get the funds up. We do what we're supposed to, and still denied. So what do you do at that point? It's a historical landmark for your community. What do you do at that point? Like, to me, that it just showcases the fuckery that we got to go through and that we deal with when we practice the proper group economics. When we want to buy up something that's within our community, it still gets denied. Anybody can speak on it. You dig what I'm saying? I'm gonna put this link back in this chat while y'all laughing at me. Almost getting attacked by a goddamn squirrel. I ain't with that. Motherfucker bold, bro. But talk to me, people. Let me know how y'all feel about it. It just showcases, man, gentrification is a very powerful tool, and what that was a display of, because they were able to, was is something called racism. That's racism. Me not liking you is prejudice. Me not liking you because you're white or black or brown or yellow or purple. That's called prejudice. This was a beautiful display of something called racism. Racism is a power dynamic. It involves power. to be able to change or influence a person or group of people's lifestyle or culture. That's called racism. That's the proper name for racism. Allegedly, not even allegedly, I forget which one it was, but yeah, it's racism. One of the corporations that was involved in the denial of the DCR, and I don't know how far this, how deep this might go. It's really not one of those things I'm trying to point out, but one of them is a business associate, partner, associate of Trump's. So, I don't like Trump anyway, but I found that funny that there had to be a name attached to that somewhere. And lo and behold, once you go digging a little bit, you find someone. It's always something tied to the power. This is a power dynamic. I'm multitasking on this, but yeah, man, it's just something I thought I should bring to light because we always speak how we need to buy the community. We die over a block we don't own, so rebuy your community, buy the corner store, so you know you can have it under control and it'll be a part of your community and stay a part of your community. This is economics. This is we always talk about these things, and we're right when we talk about them. You dig what I'm saying? We be saying what we're supposed to. We know what we're supposed to do, and then when we execute on what we're supposed to do, we're still able to be denied and get denied despite having the highest bid. There's people who drew out their bid because the community, DCR, they outbid them. They wasn't trying to compete. So we did everything. You see what I'm saying? We did the proper procedures, and yet it just, it's a no. Gentrification is real. People talk about, well, if you guys would, how this, if y'all motherfuckers, I'll say it that way. If y'all motherfuckers would buy up your own neighborhoods, maybe you wouldn't worry about. Okay, so let me go do that real quick. Denied. Oh, okay. Hey, they denied me. You see what I'm saying? So is it a point of trying to buy the neighborhood back, or is it a point of buying land and building on it and creating your own community? Which one is more suitable? You know what I'm saying? Do you do both? It's just questions that I was thinking about when I was reading the articles. Like, okay, we always say we should buy the neighborhood. We should buy the house by house, apartment buildings, complexes, da 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 da. So the Arab don't get the corner store by the corner store. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. We always say that shit. Well, we tried that. It was purpose. Now, like I said, they consistently rejected the DCR, which means the DCR consistently did what they needed to do and was on point at every point, and they were consistently rejected. So this wasn't one of those situations where, somebody else outbid them and the paperwork lined up right. No, it was a simple, these are minority folks, terms used loosely. So fuck all that. We have a plan to take over this neighborhood, so we have to deny them. And if anybody has a problem with it, so what? We're the owners. We can do what we want. You see the so what do? Do you buy your own land? You can still get denied land probably. You see what I'm saying? Like, what's the play? They're always doing this. My aunt and group were denied in Maryland for a mall. I don't know if y'all notice on the low, these lives, when we talk about these type of things, the reason I do it is because we've heard all the excuses from the foreigner. We've heard all the stereotypes from the foreigner. It's been instilled in our head that we don't try to own the block. We don't try to buy them. So I do these type of lives just to cut the excuses from the motherfuckers trying to talk down on us, right? Well, we did that. Now what? Which what can you say? Well, you didn't do it right. Did it on point. What are you talking about? What other thing can you say? You can't say shit. This is how you shut them up. Show and prove, right? Hey, this motherfucking squirrel is on one. Hey, I don't want no beef with you. Hold on, let me, boy, I don't do it. Don't. Hey, he keep walking up on me. he keep, and he coming right back. I'm about to go in the motherfucking house. What motherfucker? I'll beat you up. I'll throw this chair at you. Listen, what's up, Ty? I am being attacked by a guy. Listen, you're gonna have to come back after I'm done. All right? I will throw this motherfucking chair at you. I, why don't you try it? Oh, okay, go ahead. Okay, I see what you're doing. Motherfucker done he done buried his little nuts in my little front garden thing right here. And he's trying to dig them out. Okay, no beef. No beef. But you tried to walk up on the steps. I know you ain't buried nothing in cement. Boy, you better cut it. Listen, I wish I could. Yeah, I could flip this camera. Can I flip this camera? Y'all got to see this shit. What up, Ty? What up, Ty? Yeah, the squirrel trying to get me, G. But anyway, if you just tapped in like Ty just tapped in, a black community tried to keep a black established business hallmark historical landmark in their neighborhood. Yeah, I'm watching while I'm talking. In my neighborhood, in their neighborhood, and they had the highest bid. They did the paperwork right, all that, and they still were denied. And when they were denied, the company decided to go with a majority white company. The leader of, or one of the leaders of the DCR, which is the Downtown Crenshaw Rising, it's a group, right? He is quoted saying, "It's really about gentrification," and so that is the point of this video. To cut those excuses, you can't say that no more. You can't say we don't try to buy the block up. You can't say we don't try to, practice proper group economics. You can't say that no more. Because this is proof. Every time we do, anytime we do, there's always going to be this bullshit. There's always going to be this, no, we're going in favor of our people. We ain't fucking with y'all. We have the power to do so. It's called racism. You dig what I'm saying? And this was in South Los Angeles. Behind the door deals, the auction was a front. They didn't think they would lose. Listen, that's what I'm saying. They had the highest bid. Where this motherfucker go? I ain't doing this shit. I don't play this. No, nigga, fuck that. Exactly. And these terms are used loosely, of course. But I do these type of lives just to, shut up. Can't say that. What else you got? It's called show and prove. You feel what I'm saying? This is called show and prove. They always have this backup plan, like, okay, for shit like this, I agree with Todd. You dig? It ain't funny, Rock. It ain't funny, man. I come out here to fuck with y'all. This motherfucker fucking with me. Why you dig your shit in front of my shit? He came on the steps. Y'all should see it. He was on his hind legs. He was crouched down and shit, like he was about to jump. I know these motherfuckers can fly sometimes and shit. Mm-mm. They choose not to want to work. They choose not to want to work with. Yeah, absolutely. This is called racism, not prejudice. It's called racism. This is how you control the dynamic. Having the power to do so is how you operate. You control the dynamic. Damn, these niggas done raised all the money, all their paperwork right. We got people dropping out because they done bid so much money. No, fuck that. Simple and plain. Because I can. I'll give it to somebody. You see, that's the operation. Shit is wild. Raising the highest bid to preserve aspects of the black community. You see what I'm saying? What can you say to that? What can you say to that? You can't say too much of shit to that. it's okay if we buy, the older bandos. We can buy the older bandos, and that ain't gonna do too much shit. And I see that dynamic happen all the time. Cats, and I salute them. They learn how to flip houses. I salute those hustlers. That's a hustle. But see, that's the small thing right there. Because while we're trying to flip houses, trying to, do what we do within the neighborhood, they're buying the whole neighborhood as a whole. They're changing it. The whole layout gets changed. You start to see shit you don't usually see in your neighborhood. Houses getting torn down, buildings getting torn down. Like in my neighborhood, in my city alone, it'd be so many places that I'm like, damn, they tore that shit down and put this up. It's like, God damn, got in attendance. Barbara.
Hey,
Hey,
how are
hey now.
you? Preaching and teaching. That's what you're supposed to be doing. I want,
Show and prove, show and prove.
I want to give you some insight what I know about these properties, okay?
Mm, absolutely.
In major cities, the Jews mostly own all of the properties. They
I
are
can
not allowed to rent to black Americans. That's how they keep it monopolized. They rent it to people without color, not black Americans, only without color. Immigrants without colors, Cubans, Jamaicans, Africans. Because the government always knew that when they want to do further gentrification, it would not be a problem removing them from the property.
right. And that's
Right?
why I was speaking on earlier. There's a book called The Color of Law, and it speaks just on the same shit you talking about. So listen, get this book. It's called not you. Oh yeah, even you. Get this book called Color of Law. It break this shit down to a T. But go ahead. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
What black Americans can do is
Mm,
investigate how these Jewish landlords have stole PPP money by saying that they gave the immigrants a break on their rent. The community I live in, all of the immigrants told me so. The landlord did not give them not one break, but yet they had to sign a paper that he did. And with that right, black Americans can sue and demand that they lose that property and we be able to buy our own property and get out of the bondage of the ghetto. Let me sum it up shortly. Jews have stole this PPP loan money. They could lose their property if we fight for our civil rights, and then we can obtain the property. That's what we need to do instead of just falling back, closing up. We have laws on the books. We don't have to march because it's meaningless. We have to sue. We have to sue. What are we
uh,
going to sue for?
you got any references for the chat that they can go look into and try to get some understanding of what you speak on? You got any references that
Yes.
you can send them to?
Housing, urban development loans. Who mostly received these loans? Where they went to?
Okay.
Okay, who owns the property? Okay, I live in the ghetto of America in New York City. I live in one of the boroughs. Okay, so in these major boroughs of the city, Jewish people own these properties and they control who they rent out to. Why do the government? Why are we bondage to Jews? We're not supposed. We in the ghetto. They got us bounded in the ghetto. What we got to do is start buying our own property, rebuilding our own communities. Like my page is the Underground Railroad. I'm fighting for Black Americans to take these developers, lawyers, and judges to court and prove that they've been violating, stealing housing preservation development money, so we can win that county and rebuild the first Black Wall Street.
All right. So
Because
let me ask you something. Said we got to buy up our neighborhoods, and
yes.
now this live stream is about exactly what you're talking about, and they were denied it, even though they did everything right. So what
And
would you
that's
say?
why they got to sue. That's why they got to sue. That's
Okay.
why we have to sue. Because if we don't unite together and sue, see, we lost our strength. We lost our strength. We have no more communities. They made sure they devoured them and sectioned us off in Section 8. Here you go, project. Here you go, Section 8. Here you go, this.
Agreed to that.
They got us sectioned off. You understand? We cannot, we have to unite. Most people that was living in inner city ghettos or in shelters, and the landlords are given, which are mostly Jewish landlords, up to $10,000 and $15,000 a month. See,
Mm.
when I came back, I bust that whole thing open. When I came back, being blackballed in Tompkins County, Ithaca, New York by the Klansmen because I was exposing how they were stealing this housing preservation development money. They was like, oh, we'll fix you. We'll do this, we'll do that. That's a whole different other case. Making it short, what they tried to do was get me to lose my benefits so I could remain in a shelter. When I got in the shelter, they giving a family $8,000 a month. I peeped that. I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. The black woman said, this is a business. I said, in my mind, you black, you don't know who you talking to because I'm
Right,
about to
right.
expose all of this business. In other words, she said, putting black people in the shelter was a business, slavery. Okay, I'm busting that. Nobody's bringing that to attention. Why is Mayor de Blasio giving shelters up to $15,000 a month? This little family, this little family. No, get this little nigga. She'll never get an apartment in this gentrification area. You gotta take her for 4 years in your shelter, going. That's what's going on. And that's what we need to sue about, King. I need you to learn about this and learn about these shelters. We
Yeah,
need
I'm about to look into that. That's why I
Yes,
asked for that
we got
particular.
us too. They got us in bondage. They got us in bondage, and I'm the whistleblower to that. They don't expect a little uneducated N-word to know none of this information, but I dated the lawyer. Go in my videos and listen to the names I call and investigate them. Herbert Wright of 2077th Avenue, Enos Francis houses. He was one of the first black lawyers they gave $29 million to build. The
Hmm.
first the first is called Section 8. The rule was they were supposed to allow 30 years of helping the poor and then they could own the building for themselves. But what the government did was twist it up. And now they building buildings. They don't have to do a 30-year term, not even a 1-year term or no term. They're
Hmm.
just strictly stealing the money, strictly stealing the money. And it's against the law, and we have to sue. No marching, sue. Why are we suing? You got us in bondage and shelter. Slavery is over. You cannot give landlords $10,000 a month for my family. That's why I'm suing for the treason and genocide against the ghettos of America. This is what I'm trying to get the black people to understand. Slavery is in effect, and it is against our 14th Amendment civil right law. We've been set free, but was never given freedom, never
Hmm.
given the 40 acres in a mule. What we got to sue for? The 40 acres in a mule. We have to request a legal civil war at the end of the day. If the black Americans do not unite with the white Americans and request a legal civil war, what is our future? Retail, selling stuff for China? Where's our companies? Thank you. The color and there you go.
Read that right there. You see what it say? It say a forgotten history of how our government segregated America.
That's right.
What she
That's
talking
right.
about? She's not wrong. She's not
And it
wrong on that.
started off with them giving white people the Indian property.
Look,
It
you
started
see,
off
my
with
shit
that.
stay highlighted. This
It
whole
started
book
off
breaks
with
this
that.
down.
It started off with teaching our children we came from underneath a dirty slave ship when we was already here in America enslaved in our own land. Let's go there. Come on now,
There you
all day.
go. This is chapter 3. This is chapter 3. You reading that?
Racial zoning, yeah. There
This
you go.
is. Come on now.
There you go. We got to break it down. This is what's going on.
Like I could do a whole breakdown
Come
on
on.
on this topic alone. I should do a whole video and break this shit down. She's not
What
wrong. Look. This is chapter 10. Suppress the income.
King, a lot of people were saying I have to back all myself up with literature. I tell you things that I've seen firsthand myself, because I was
Absolutely.
through the valley, a shadow of death, and survived these things. When I'm telling you about this housing preservation development money, that all we have to do is sue. Why are we suing? We are suing because black people are being held in bondage, and mostly Jewish landlords and rich landlords are getting up to $10,000-$15,000 a month for black and Spanish and poor families inside of shelters. That's slavery. Let's get it. Let's get it. Yeah. Yeah.
Tactics. You see that word tactics?
Yes, yes.
That
The
that that
Illuminati
talks
is
about
real.
that
For
word
people
brings on
not
the
to
word
believe that the
war.
Illuminati is not real, look
Oh
at they.
no, we're not doing Illuminati talk right now.
I'm not doing it, but I'm letting you
Okay.
know it's real. They the ones that's doing it. They the ones that's in charge of
Look,
all
look.
identification.
IRS support. Man, come on now. She ain't
That's
off.
who we
She
are.
ain't wrong, yo. Hold on, let's see what they said. Yep, they changed they just changed. That's all they did, Ra. They just changed the look of slavery. That's it. Watch some videos
Why?
that use that
Why
book as
are
references. Absolutely. This book, look, like this is why I always promote books. This book, especially for this topic and just understanding neighborhoods, ghettos, whatever you want to call them. This is a great book to
why
understand
aren't
the
black people
tactics.
outraged that people are in slavery? Why? Because some way along the line they brainwashed us not to be outraged about things like this. Black families are in shelters being treated like slaves.
Mm-hmm.
They are receiving slavery money, $10,000 a month. That's selling people.
Yeah, that's what it talks about, Ty. Redlining. It talks about every aspect. It talks about how Section 8 was started and why it was started, all the way down to the root origin, not just the late 60s, 50s, whatever the fuck. It goes way, way back in this book. So just to understand the neighborhoods, the situations of gentrification, the dynamics of group economics,
All right.
I would refer that book.
Before I leave,
All right.
I want you, I told y'all before, NACA, everybody, I don't care if you work for McDonald's, call that organization if you in the United States and they will help you obtain your own property. I'm going to get back in the chat and listen to you teach and preach.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you.
Okay.
Yeah, the
Thank
queen was she wasn't us. She was on point. She was on point. And her passion sometimes is a little rough for people to intake. I listen to the words. She did public housing. Look, my whole book is highlighted, by the way. Public housing, black ghettos. Like it really gets to to the nitty gritty of things. You know, some motherfuckers. We go through this shit. This is what happens. This is a fact of life. You know, the foreigner loves to try to talk down on the neighborhoods and the ghettos and the projects, but they're infatuated at the same time, you know. But they love to talk down on the ghetto, the neighborhoods, projects, and we love to argue gentrification. We should, and that's why I say when we speak on these things, we're right. You know, we're talking the right talk. We're moving the right way. But still, this shit is absolutely reality, man. I love Miss Barbara. She knows stuff. Yeah, that's why. Listen, I appreciate anybody who got something real to talk about and got some game to it. You know, you see, I ain't let her just say what she said. I'm gonna need references, and immediately she threw them out there. She threw it out there. I appreciate the gems. I appreciate the game. I appreciate the information. You know, that's what it's about, and I can't stress it enough. As far as understanding the deep tactics and strategies all the way up to the day of how shit got how it got as far as housing, Section 8, red line, racial zone, all of that. This book, you see, my shit is all the way to the front to back. Well, I ain't highlight some of that shit, but you dig what I'm saying. We really, you gotta really know what you're talking about. I'm glad she came on. Anybody can come on and just give insight and perspectives. I really just wanted this live stream to showcase the dynamics of racism as well as gentrification. These things it makes people uncomfortable. Some people don't want to hear about that type shit. You know, it's complaining. Why don't you do something? Well, we did something and we did it the right way, and it still is what it is. So, do you buy your own land? Yeah, I would definitely buy your own land and build a community. Like she said, build another Black Wall Street. That's gonna go into the people though. Like I'm just thinking about it. You buy your own land, you make your own community. How it flourishes depends on the people. Like you can't have no Negro pens, no coons, no lost zombified motherfuckers if you're trying to build something like that. They got to stay at a distance. They can watch and either get with the program or get left. But if we're trying to do something within our community, we gotta. It's one of those things where you kind of got to roll the dice and make that move and see how it come out. But I would suggest making that move and seeing what happens. You know what I'm saying? This exposed a lot about the South Los Angeles companies or that specific company, whether they give a fuck or not. It still was a great showcase of this shit we go through. Simple, man. My thing is like, if that's a historical landmark and you just and the play just got played the way it did, now do you still support that business? Do you still support that plaza, even though you know how it went down? It's in your community. You gave so much. You wanted it so much. It still exists in your community. It's just under foreign ownership. Do you still, you know, support that business, or do you just let it be? Because that's the game. You know, if you don't support it, it's just going to be supported by the foreign uh, peoples. That's going to make the way in for the next little spot. It's like a little cancer, and before you know it, your whole neighborhood is gentrified. Or do you support it, which is still gonna happen? What? Tough. That should be tough. I'm just saying, family. The way I look at things, where the way shit happens, it's not a secret. That would be frustrating for me. That's frustrating for me from a distance. I don't know. I don't know what I would do if I don't know, man. I don't know what I would do if I got denied. My community got denied something that was in the community. I don't know if I would support it, but I know it's gonna get supported anyway. I would just move on to the next location. Really, shit, they got that one. Hopefully, the owners of the motherfucking corner store ain't like those folks. So you gotta keep going and just bit by bit, building by building, I guess. But then even if you buy up the neighborhood and you don't actually change up the community, it's not gonna get supported. It's not gonna be taken care of. It's gonna be run to shit. So then now it actually does play on the people of the community to get their shit together. Like you cannot build or buy up a neighborhood and hope for anything prosperous in a rundown neighborhood if you don't clean it up, get the people on a certain accord. Like, yo, this is our shit now. Just like you take care, well, some of y'all take care of the inside of your house. You gotta take care of this community the same way. A lot of people is gonna, it might become a trend or a fad for a minute, but then it's just the way shit is, I guess. I don't know, man. I don't know, bro. I'm just thinking now. Now I'm actually really thinking about it. Like, yo, even if you buy up the neighborhood, if the people of the neighborhood ain't in order, what's the point? What is the point? Just to say you own it, just to, you know, I don't know. Oh yeah, appreciate that support too, y'all. Hit that like, share, subscribe. You know, hit that cash app. I appreciate that support. But how do y'all feel? Talk to me, man. How do y'all feel about this? Because my mind is just running all over. You know what I'm saying? Like when you look at certain neighborhoods, they're well kept, they're well groomed. You know, everybody's on a certain type of the same accord. They take care of the community. They keep their shit together. They keep the neighborhood together. Then you look at some other ones that are being taken, and not all of them are run down, but they're not as well kept. So it's like, do we even give a fuck about our community anymore? I'm just thinking some shit now. Shit is baffling me, y'all. Hold up, give me a second, because this shit is baffling me. You gotta take care. Like I don't know. The rundown neighborhoods is the best for the people who can see profit in the long run. And that's why they get taken and gentrified. Like, okay, they don't give a fuck about it. We're gonna take it and eat it up. change it to what we want. And this, why not? It's free game out here. They don't give a fuck about it. Let's take it up. But if they look at an already well kept community, I think they ain't gonna fuck with it. What? Because they know, for one, I can see that they're all on the same accord. So what that tells me is this pushback is gonna be by the whole collective. Let's not fuck with them right now. We're gonna blend them into what we're doing everywhere else. So that's the first thing I would say. You know, now that I'm thinking about it, is you gotta keep up your own community. You gotta take care of it, even if you don't own the neighborhood. You got to take care of your neighborhood. You got to take care of your community. Your folks, your neighbors got to be on the same accord. You feel what I'm saying? Peace, Queen Nika. Peace, peace. Hold up, hold up. There we go. There we go. I'm just talking about this fuckery. You know what I'm saying? If you just got here, as I see you did, a South Los Angeles community of black folks, brown folks, you know, community, tried to buy the Crenshaw Mall or the Baldwin Hill Crenshaw Plaza. And even though they raised the highest amount of money, the paperwork was legit and everything, the owners of the plaza turned them down and decided to go with a majority white business or corporation. One of the leaders of the minority group or the community group, which is called the Downtown Crenshaw Rising or the DCR, says that it has to do with gentrification. So now we talking gentrification. Peace, God. Peace, peace. We should be good. And so now I'm just talking about the community. Miss Barbara was on here. She said a lot of factual actuals. You know what I'm saying? And one of the key focuses was you got to buy up the neighborhood. You got to take care of your neighborhood. That's the first thing you got to do, even if you don't own the neighborhood. You got to take care of it. You see what I'm saying? Like in this little neighborhood I'm in, a couple streets down, it gets a little worse, and that's where I used to live, down that way. But you come over here and it's well kept. Everybody got their shit together. You know, these motherfuckers be having garage sales and shit, yard sales and shit, like just kicking it. But they keep everything up to par. You know, it's just a well kept neighborhood. Christy, peace, peace, peace. It's a well kept neighborhood, and that's what I was saying. One of the things before anything is you got to have your community in order to move as a unit. These people, whoever they may be at that certain time, who come and buy the land and buy the neighborhood up, when it's a rundown neighborhood, when it's it's a rundown motherfucking neighborhood, it's easier to take that. It's easier to buy that up because we're showing we don't give a fuck about our neighborhood. We don't take care of the neighborhood. We don't keep the streets and roads clean. We don't practice maybe neighborhood watches and whatever the fuck they do out in the super nice neighborhoods, but we don't do that type shit, And so it's easier to pick it off. If we're showing we don't care about the neighborhood, why should we get mad when somebody else sees the benefit and potential in the neighborhood and takes it? So take care of your neighborhoods, because even if your paperwork is right, if your money is together and you do everything right, you could still obviously get denied just based off of your skin tone. This is called racism. Once again, this is racism. Racism isn't the white boy next door saying nagger, fucking hate you naggers. That's not racism. That's called prejudice. You can call it ignorance as well, but it's called prejudice. Racism deals with power. That's what racism deals with, power. When you see the neighborhood get gentrified, that's power. That's racism. Because you see what neighborhoods they focus on. We got to establish that. Not everybody can understand the difference between prejudice and racism. I got 2 videos on it, real simple, about 6 minutes. We got to take care of the neighborhood, and it's not about the youth killing each other. I mean, that plays into it. That's just an aspect of it, just an aspect. how we present our neighborhood. The way you treat the inside of your house, the outside of your house should reflect the same thing. That's what I'm saying. These motherfuckers keep the grass cuts. They do like community shit together. We don't fuck with them. You know, we don't fuck with. We don't. But still, when you show, when you present unification, when you present power behind that unification, discipline, keeping your community together, places aren't looking to take it over because they know it's going to be a big pushback. You know what I'm saying? But when you don't take care of your neighborhood, when you don't practice economics, hold on, Barbara. When you don't practice that economic, it look like food. Your neighborhood start to look like food. They don't see the benefit in keeping it together. Let us, because I see the benefit in free land pretty much. You know, and then when they do whatever the fuck they do, now we want to complain. Now we want to say they taking shit over. You should have been doing it. You should have been doing it in the first place. It ain't easy, of course, because you can't just go house to house and be like, "You want to practice group economics?" Of course not. But it does take time, and it takes groups of like-minded individuals. I thought this was a great. I don't think it was a great thing that happened to this community, but I think it was a great display of the power involved in racism and the power of a group economics, a collective. They didn't get it, but the fact that they showed proper economics, group economics, these are things we can take note on. Shit, I got shit in my throat. Y'all missed it though. Earlier, I was getting chased by a goddamn squirrel. Anyway, it's just one of those things, man. I'm gonna probably be on here another like 15 minutes. You feel me? I just wanted to talk about this and get some insight from the family, man. Once again, they did everything right. They wanted to keep the Crenshaw Mall Plaza within their community under their own, local operations. But a more significant power group said, no, we gonna sell it to some of our own folks. We don't care that you got the most money. We don't care that your paperwork is together. We just don't want to give it to you. That's called racism. Gentrification involves power. You see the targets of gentrification. That's called racism. This is a simple game. It's a frustrating game, but it's a simple game. I've been keeping my eye out. The motherfucker was across the street sitting on the porch looking at me. I swear he was. So, but what do y'all feel about it? Chop game with me. Understand that this is a historical landmark within the community. It's just, you got to operate past that, I guess. And that's what I said earlier. You got to start just trying to buy other shit then, and hopefully the owners ain't racist, and hope they ain't racist, man. Because you could buy up the neighborhood, you could flip houses, buy up the neighborhood, flip houses. If you see a struggling mom with kids, you could put her in the house for the low. Now let her build her life back up. This is how you move. It's our own fault. Also, we could keep putting the people who fuck us over in power. I understand that, absolutely. And that's why I say when we speak on these things, we're not wrong in what we say. You know, in this case, the people in power, they try to do it the right way. Some of them might not have even been, old enough to really do damage when the owners took over. They're just trying to help the community now that they are able to. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the understanding of economics didn't hit their ears yet, or the significance or purpose or reason behind it. So power is given. Power isn't taken. You can't take my power from me. Or I'm not gonna give you power over me. You gotta literally try to take the power from me. Power, you give that shit up. It's not taken. You have the power. In order for me, man, it's my brain is all over now. I'm thinking about shit. Damn. Oh, I appreciate it, Christy. I tried. I try. And he started getting I'm late on everything. Listen, that squirrel fucked me up, bro. I ain't had my ticker up the whole time and shit. It's just one of those. Like, they walk like these motherfuckers walk behind their dogs with bags to clean up their shit. Like, I'm not from that type of neighborhood. My dog will take a shit in your yard, and we'll just keep walking. Like, they keep maintenance on this shit. They fuck with each other. They do a lot of shit together, and in a group type of manner, not just because they're best friends, but they treat each other. I don't talk to them. I just watch how this neighborhood operates. Yeah, Keith, this shit threw me off, man. Listen, I wish I could flip my phone because this motherfucking squirrel sat across the street on the porch, I promise you, and was just watching the house, man. Just watching. But yeah, these motherfuckers clean up dog shit. I'm not raised in that neighborhood. I'm not raised in that type of environment. I'm raised, my dog will shit in your yard and we're gonna keep moving. Like, I'm not even thinking about that. They're nice to each other. They check up on each other. I'm not raised from that environment. I operate as well as I can now with the understanding of the importance of doing shit like that, because that's how you build group economics. You start to get familiar with your neighbors and the people of your community, not just your neighbors, but the community. You know, talk to each other, showcase the group economic idea. I might not come over to your house or something, but when I see you, I might stop while you're sitting on your porch, talk to you for a second. Shit. This builds, and that building has power, man. Now I understand the ignorance we have, because by ignorance I mean it by the definition, just not knowing any better. But I can understand that ignorance that we have, or some of us may have, about our own community, and that's how the play works. It's built on that ignorance, man. So if y'all see me looking around, that's why, man. I got attacked earlier. I almost threw a chair at it. You just got to start this shit from the beginning. But I'm gonna put the link out one more time, and I'll probably end it with Miss Barbara. She ended the other stream. Oh yeah, yeah. While I do that though, for those who just got here, this topic we're talking about, this book breaks it down beautifully, beautifully. This is a reference. You know what I'm saying? This is called Color of Law: A Forgotten History of How Our Government Segregated America. So this shit been known. These tactics have been used. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is not new. And my shit be highlighted. I like to showcase. You really got to do your research. And there's plenty more books upstairs, but it's just tough, man. Buy land, you can still get turned down for that if they don't like your skin tone. But you got to do something. We got to do something. We got to try something. In this community, the DCR, uh, this was a mixed group of people. I use the term minorities very loosely, very loosely. I just use them for just a simple understanding of the type of folks we might be talking about, right? But the company decided to go with a predominantly white corporation company. This is the power play, though. This is how they buddy. Listen, when it comes to that understanding of racism, these people in power, they practice group economics amongst each other. This is how the game works. Right. Absolutely, coach. This is how the game works. Those in power I won't say in power, but those with power, they practice group economics amongst each other with a common understanding, a common goal, and they execute it right. They execute it flawlessly. And I knew if I went back and I looked into it, I just knew if I did, I would find a name attached to it. And sure enough, Trump's name came up. And this motherfucker is owed $1 million somehow, but and I got stories for days I want to talk about. Yeah, man. Uh, Coach. Matter of fact, you gotta text me, man. Text me so I could lock you in. But like I said, I'm about to end this at an hour. Damn, that shit just kicked me all the way off. That's wild. But yeah, I'm probably ending it in about 5 minutes. I'm gonna let Miss Barbara talk, uh, make her points, and then we gonna get out of here, man. I got some shit to do. Hope she's still on. Miss Barbara.
Yes, I wanted to tell y'all some things. Okay.
All right, we gotta make it quick because I'm about to shake.
Here we go. These
All right.
developers that are developing these buildings, most of these lawyers and developers have broken the contract laws. The way we get our buildings back is finding out what laws did they break. Did they rent out to the community? Did they refuse housing? Um, are they allowing people a contract of 29 years? You see, and once we find the laws that they broke, they lose their property. We have
Right.
to start fighting for our properties. Like Crimshaw, I know you're not speaking of where the marathon is, where
I'm
King Nipsey got his
maybe perhaps I am. It's
because
called the Crenshaw Mall,
if you speaking of that, then everybody need to unite like we do
Crenshaw Plaza.
when we throwing sticks and stones. We need to unite with pens and papers and sue. Where are the civil rights lawyers? This is what we don't need ambulance chases. We need people to defend our civil rights so we can stop laying down. Maybe if we get jobs and opportunities, most of our children won't have to lay down. What I mean, get murdered and killed because they'll
Right,
be
right.
busy working. Where are the civil rights lawyers? Where's L. Sharpton to fight that? NAACP, they took their money to turn their head. We got to sue their ass. We got to start suing things. We need lawyers, and that's what I need to bring up. We have to start suing. If we don't exercise our civil rights, they'll take them from us as they did.
Absolutely.
If they didn't if they didn't give a Black American the storefront, they were supposed to be in court, and their rights were supposed to be exercised. And what's been going on? All of our rights have been pushed aside and taken away. Our children are not even taught in school or anywhere else that they have civil rights.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Appreciate you.
Okay.
All right now.
All right.
Always appreciate Miss Barbara, man. Just see, there you go. He tried to sneak up on. Listen, he's back. This motherfucker's gonna try to climb this tree and jump on this porch. This motherfucker is terrorizing me, cuz. But like I said, the the game is not a secret. Racism exists. Systemic racism exists. Understand the difference between racism and prejudice, because this was a beautiful display. The topic at hand was a beautiful display of something called racism. Get this book, or if you can, get the PDF version of this book, The Color of Law by Richard Rothstein. Okay, a forgotten history of how our government segregated America. And it gets into everything. And I'll just, public housing, black ghettos, racial zoning, uh, private agreements, government enforcements, local tactics, suppressed income, just so many different things. What Miss Barbara spoke on was not wrong. It was actually correct. It actually was correct, right? The points and the message of what she was saying was correct. And definitely understand contract law. Definitely. I not even just specifically for this. Learn contract law, case law, common law, private law, maritime law. I definitely I have a video, but I need to do more videos on different types of laws and the definitions of law. I have about a half hour, 45-minute video on law definitions alone. I would definitely recommend that we do understand law, all types of laws, because it is important. The pen is mightier than the sword type of shit. You see what I'm saying? This is also a sword too. So That's how they wrote us. They wrote us off on a lot more things than they just dominated and took. They wrote us off. You know, that pen is mighty sword for real. You know, so definitely understand this law game. Understand your state law, uh, just everything on that. Get this book if you can. It's cheap. It's like $23, maybe like $21 or something. And it breaks it all the way down to the origins, not just what has been tossed out there for us to talk about. Like I really could just do a whole live stream simply off of what I learned out of this book. And it goes beautifully into this. You know what I'm saying? Buy up the neighborhood, yeah, do that. But take care of your community. Stress the importance of just keeping maintenance on your community, keeping a group dynamic with your neighbors and people in your community. This is a show of power within itself. You see what I'm saying? This is a beautiful showcase of group dynamics to a basic understanding. This is how it works. You know, take care of your shit just like you take care of the inside of your house. Outside your house should be the same way. When you talk about changing the community, this is a major aspect. Just on a systemic racist or racism aspect. This will showcase the power of the group dynamic, the group economic, changing the community, so to speak. You can't change everybody in it. You can't. But you can do a whole lot. Like it's natural to be in harmony with each other. So show and try to showcase that as much as possible. With that being said, everybody who tapped in, everybody who supported and hit the cash app, everybody, just in general. You feel what I'm talking about? I don't know if this video has a thumbs down, but whoever did, if you do, I listen. I appreciate all y'all, man. This little white girl just rolled up in my driveway. Look, this day has been weird as fuck. This day has been weird as fuck to me. I'm getting chased and terrorized by a big ass squirrel. Cindy Lou just rolled right up in my driveway. What the fuck is going on today? Anyway, with that being said, I appreciate those who appreciate me. I love those who love me. One more time, so you know, one more time. The Color of Law by Richard Rothstein breaks a lot of this shit down. That being said, I hope you enjoyed. I definitely do. Yeah, Keek, you and Ryder Creator, y'all funny laughing at me. I'm being terrorized today. I'm going in the house. Fuck that. I'm not outside today. Anyway, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I hope you got something out of this video. You feel what I'm saying? In a real way. Peace.